Pakistan went ahead today despite the Modi government cancelling foreign secretary level talks and telling them that any interaction with the Hurriyat will not be accepted by India. Pakistan's High Commissioner Abdul Basit met a plethora of Hurriyat leaders today, from Mirwais Umar Farooq to Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani. All of them were hosted by the Pakistan High Commissioner. This has pushed India-Pakistan bilateral ties to a state of deadlock. India now wants to see what Islamabad will do next, because they have laid down a new red line which Islamabad clearly doesn't seem to be respecting.
Pakistan is in no mood to give up its destructive, provocative dance with Indian separatists, despite the Modi government slapping scheduled bilateral talks off the table yesterday. Pakistan's High Commissioner today met the face of rabid separatism, Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani. Like yesterday, the meeting today was met with loud protests by right-wing groups outside the Pakistan mission in Delhi. But there could be more provocation ahead, with other separatist leaders, Mirwais Umar Farooq and Yasin Malik, also likely to be hosted. Things have deteriorated so rapidly, it's hard to believe that Delhi and Islamabad were set to hold ice-breaking talks in just 6 days. The swift breakdown throws up 4 immediate questions. Does the present fight mean there could be a rethink on Modi and Nawaz Sharif meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly next month in New York? Could the fresh acrimony impact trade and visas? What happens to the negotiations on most favoured nation status from both sides? And at a larger level, does the current bad blood kill the friendly initiative that Modi began his tenure with? Both leaders face pressure situations of their own. Nawaz Sharif continues to be the object of the Pakistan Army's anger over his outreach to India, while Modi was questioned endlessly till yesterday over his inaction on Pakistan's provocations. While Nawaz Sharif faces dogged political protests led by Imran Khan, Modi has been seen to be coming under pressure from the RSS to show some grit against Islamabad. And finally, while Nawaz Sharif was forced to include the Hurriyat in the current matrix of talks, Modi's tough gesture also keeps in view elections in Kashmir in 3 months.
Despite New Delhi's reservations, Pakistan's High Commissioner to India Abdul Basit continued meeting with Hurriyat leaders for the second day on Tuesday. Sources in the government say this clearly indicates Pakistan is not ready to resume dialogue to discuss how the composite dialogue can once again begin. The ball is clearly in Pakistan's court. With cameraman Ashok Bhanot in Delhi, Gaurav Sawant for Headlines Today.
I want to go across live and exclusive to Islamabad. Joining us from there is Tasneem Aslam. She's the spokesperson of the Pakistan Foreign Office. Ms. Aslam, thank you very much for speaking to us on Centre Stage. I want to understand from you the reasons behind Pakistan's High Commissioner Abdul Basit going ahead and meeting several Hurriyat leaders, despite the Modi government making it very clear that they didn't want Pakistan to be talking to Hurriyat leaders.
I think the answer is very obvious. We have always been meeting Hurriyat leaders. We have always been consulting them. This is a standard practice for the past many decades. We are surprised that all of a sudden India has problems with it. We don't see any reason. And then we have to understand that neither Pakistan nor India are in the position to dictate terms to the other side. We have to negotiate with each other on equal footing as equal sovereign states. So there's no way of any one country dictating terms or telling the other one what to do. That has not happened ever. That won't happen.
Ma'am, there's been some commentary from Pakistan where it has been suggested that Prime Minister Modi acted in haste. But from what we've understood from India's Foreign Office, a call was made to Islamabad. It was made very clear that there will be consequences if the Pakistan High Commissioner in New Delhi went ahead and met Hurriyat leaders yesterday. Despite that, this meeting took place. So, do you actually believe that the Prime Minister acted in haste? And do you accept the fact that Pakistan was warned?
I can't hear you. Hello?
Ma'am, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me? Ma'am, here's my question. Sources in the Indian Foreign Ministry have told us that yesterday a call was made to the Pakistan Foreign Ministry informing them that any meeting with the Hurriyat leadership is not something the government of India will accept. A, is that something you can confirm? Was a forewarning given? And secondly, when that call was made, why then was the Hurriyat leadership called in? Because there's no past precedent that shows before a foreign secretary level meeting, Pakistan High Commissioner going ahead and meeting Hurriyat leaders. It's happened when Pakistani dignitaries have come, but just on the eve of a big meeting between foreign secretaries, according to the Indian Ministry of External Affairs, this hasn't happened, madam.
Well, no call. I can confirm you very clearly, loud and clear. No call was made to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is not a message that we would take or we would accept. We, as I said, neither of us is in a position to dictate terms to the other side. We are not used to this kind of language that it was made clear and we were told there would be consequences. Well, the consequences, unfortunately, will be for the whole region. This region needs peace. If Pakistan and India are not talking to each other because of one side's intransigence, attaching conditionalities with resumption of dialogue, then unfortunately there will be consequences for peace in this region.
Ma'am, just so that I've understood you right, what you're telling our viewers is that the Indian Foreign Office did not inform anyone in Pakistan that there will be consequences, because the Indian Foreign Office has been suggesting that Pakistan was informed in advance that if the High Commissioner meets Hurriyat leaders, these talks will be called off. You're now telling us on headlines today that no such call was made by the Indian government to anyone in the Pakistani establishment.
First, no call was made to the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Secondly, even if such a call was made, we don't take dictations from anyone. And I'm sorry, you're wrong. Always on the eve of dialogue between Pakistan and India, there have been consultations with Kashmiri leadership.
No, from what we've been briefed by the Indian Foreign Office, they've gone back. In fact, this is something Prime Minister Modi asked officials in the MEA to do before this decision was taken, to check if just before meetings between foreign secretaries, a discussion or a dialogue with the Hurriyat leadership had taken place, and they said there was no specific precedent of this nature. While, for example, when Hina Rabbani Khar came, she met with Hurriyat leaders. Also, while President Musharraf was in India, he met with Hurriyat leaders. Before a meeting of foreign secretaries, the Prime Minister was informed by the MEA that no such meeting had taken place, ma'am.
Do you want me to listen to your speech, or do you want to know Pakistan's position? Please decide. When I'm speaking, do not interrupt me. I'm not used to that. I can tell you, every time Pakistani Foreign Secretary has visited India for talks, or Pakistani Foreign Minister has visited India for talks, there has always been meetings with Kashmiri. Always. Obviously, this time the talks were in Pakistan, and we don't see there is any issue with that. This issue has never come up in the past. There have been meetings. India knows that we keep in contact with Kashmiris. We take their views, we decide them, because they are a legitimate stakeholder, as is Pakistan, as is India.
Ma'am, what impact will this decision by the Indian government have on the proposed meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif on the sidelines of the UNGA meeting, which is supposed to take place in September, towards the end of September in New York?
Look, I wouldn't like to speculate. This is not something I want to get into. But the fundamental reality is that, unfortunately, our region is lagging behind other regions in regional cooperation, in taking benefit of connectivity and other boons that come with peace. We have pockets of perhaps development that we can showcase to the world, but largely our countries are underdeveloped, our people are poor. So we need to create an environment where our people can have better economic opportunities, their life standards can improve. They can have access to education, health, and improvement in life. So it's our responsibility.
But are you willing to say this much, ma'am, that this decision by the Indian government is a big blow to the India-Pakistan peace process that Nawaz Sharif says he was working on, that the Indian Prime Minister was very keen on? And in the light of this, does it now mean, or is it reasonable to suggest that the possibility of Prime Minister Modi meeting with Nawaz Sharif at New York is now very, very minimal?
I won't like to speculate about the meeting, but yes, as we said in our written statement yesterday, in reaction to the announcement, was that yes, it's a setback to those efforts that have been underway, that our leadership has made, that the atmosphere that was generated when the two prime ministers met and their directives to the foreign secretaries to meet. So yes, it's a setback to that.
Ma'am, what will happen next, given the tough position that India has taken on asking Pakistan not to meet with Hurriyat leaders? What do you believe will happen next? Because in India, the perception is that the ball is now in Pakistan's court. A new red line has been drawn. Will we see Pakistan act on any of the promises that have been made on terrorism, on 26/11 masterminds roaming free, on action being taken against the perpetrators of Mumbai? Or will Pakistan now expect the Modi government to take the next step?
Okay, first, the red line. I don't think there are any red lines with Kashmir. Kashmir is a UN-recognized dispute. It's not part of India. So there's no question that we violated any red line. Secondly, about Mumbai, you know that the proceedings are continuing in the court. The Judicial Commission went to India. Obviously, the only so-called witness was hanged by then. So we need evidence to proceed further. But may I remind you, taking this opportunity, that before Mumbai, there was a Samjhauta Express attack in which there is sufficient evidence that Indian security agencies were involved. Some people are, I think...
there is no such evidence, ma'am.
Well.
There is no such evidence in any court of law which suggests that Indian security agencies were involved. There is one personnel from the armed forces whose name features as an accused, which doesn't mean that the Indian forces in any way orchestrated the Samjhauta blast. Surely you're not suggesting that.
Well, in case of Mumbai, and in every case of every terrorist incident in India, allegations have been leveled that Pakistani security agencies were involved without evidence. In most of the cases, it turned out that there were internal factors. But in this case, one person, or there were 7 persons. Please read the report of the officer who was killed in Mumbai at short death, Harish Karkare. His report implicates more people.
Okay, I'm going to leave it over there. For the time being, Tasneem Aslam, for joining us with your thoughts. Thank you very much. Clearly, there are 2 parts to this dispute, the position that India has taken and also the perception in Pakistan about the decision. What the Modi government needs to explain is, when in previous instances as well, before there's a meeting between the foreign secretaries of India and Pakistan, Hurriyat leaders have met with Pakistan high commissioners. Why then did this new red line got drawn? But the perception, of course, in Delhi is that this is not what happened in the past. There's a new government, it's a government that means business, and they will not accept several of the things that happened in previous governments, including what happened in the Vajpayee government.